Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to video number 218, and today's video is based on testing for AR1 serial correlation. Let me start with a formal model, which is time series. Yt is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 xt1 plus up to beta k xtk plus ut. This t is subscript. Why do we want to test for AR1 serial correlation? Because we want to be able to test for whether the errors are serially correlated or not, and we may also want to test the null hypothesis that rho is equal to 0 in ut is equal to rho ut minus 1 plus et, where t varies from 2 up to n, and ut is the model error term, and et is independently identically distributed. With strictly exogenous regressors, the test is very straightforward. We simply regress the residuals on the lagged residuals and use a t-test. Whereas the alternative test is that of Durbin-Watson DW statistic, which is calculated by a number of different computer packages. If the Durbin-Watson statistic is round about 2, then we can reject serial correlation, while if it is significantly less than 2, we cannot reject the null hypothesis. Critical values are difficult to calculate, making the t-test easier to work with. If the regressors are not strictly exogenous, then neither the t or the DW test will work. In this case, we regress the residual Ry on the lagged residual and all of the x explanatory variables. The inclusion of the x variables allows each xtj to be correlated with ut minus 1, so don't need assumption of strict exogeneity. Testing for higher order serial correlation. We can also test for ARQ serial correlation in the same basic manner as AR1, but just we will include Q legs of the residuals in the regression and test for giant significance. And we can use the F-test or Lagrange multiplier test, where the Lagrange multiplier version is called a Busch-Godfrey test and is n minus q into r square, using r square from residual regression. And we can also test for seasonal forms. Correcting for serial correlation. In order to do that, we may start with the case of strictly exogenous regressors and maintain all GM assumptions except no serial correlation, and assume errors follow AR1. So ut is equal to rho ut minus 1 plus et, t varies from 2 up to n. Variance of ut is equal to sigma square e divided by 1 minus rho square. But we need to try and transform the equation, so we have no serial correlation in the error terms. Consider the model that since yt is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 xt plus ut, then yt minus 1 is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 xt minus 1 plus ut minus 1. If we multiply the second equation by rho and subtract it from the first, we get yt minus rho yt minus 1 into 1 minus rho beta naught plus beta 1 xt minus rho xt minus 1 plus et, since et is equal to ut minus rho ut minus 1. This quasi-differencing results in a model without serial correlation. Feasible GLS estimation. There is a problem with this method that we don't know rho, so we need to get an estimate first, and we can just use the estimate obtained from regressing residuals on lag residuals, and depending on how we deal with the first observation, this is either called Cochran-Urquhart or Preis-Winston estimation. Often both Cochran-Urquhart and Preis-Winston are implemented iteratively. This basic method can be extended to follow for higher order serial correlation, that is ARQ of Q order. Most statistical packages will automatically allow for estimation of AR models without having to do the quasi-differencing by hand. Serial correlation robust standard errors is one method. What happens if we don't know the regressors are all strictly exogenous? It is possible to calculate serial correlation robust standard errors along the same line as heteroscedasticity robust standard errors. The idea is that we want to scale the OLS standard errors to take into account serial correlation. In this case, we will estimate normal OLS to get residuals, root, mean square error, and then we run the auxiliary regression of xt1 on xt2 up to xtk and form AT hat by multiplying these residuals with UT hat, and we have this equation where SE is the usual OLS standard error of beta j hat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a brief video on testing for AR1 serial correlation, and I have discussed a number of methods. I also discussed the testing for ARQ serial correlation of high order. This can be very helpful while we are using time series data in which there is serial correlation of any order. I hope this is quite interesting for you, and if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, kindly do subscribe, and do not forget to the bell icon so that you can get notification about other important videos that I am going to upload soon for you. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.